Hey there, I am Ina, Speak Simply Malekish, and this is my channel where I enjoy sharing with you about sex, relationship, and intimacy one bite at a time. My service to you thrives on your participation, your sharing, liking, subscribing, and commenting. So please do so. And I am available for in-office as well as remote sessions. You can contact me right here from this page. So today's topic comes from the counseling that I do with many couples, and it's changing your habit of how you communicate to each other. And when you first get together as a couple, you are so in love and you're in that honeymoon phase, and everything seems to be going just great. How you communicate, how you make love, decisions that you're making. And as you kind of ease off into everyday life and, going to work and the stress of just living life together, what happens is we fall into poor communication patterns. If I was to say there's one issue that completely affects your sex life with your partner. And this is even if you're dating, okay? Living together, married, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter your age. If there's one thing that affects your intimacy and sex life, it's your communication. And what's challenging is to realize that men and women communicate differently. We have basic instinctual differences. And when we try to communicate in a way that we women understand each other, sometimes it's way too many words for you men. And there are times, men, when we ask you a question and you answer us with 2 words or a sentence, and it's way too few words. We need so much more. And when couples have been together for a long time, the communication oftentimes breaks down. And that's where I work with a lot of my couples, is because they're not really hearing each other. And they're creating their own response without listening to the other person. So there's something in the shamanic tradition that it's referred to as a talking stick style of communicating. And I'm not talking about the casino. So when somebody says something, shares something, my response would be, this is what I heard you say. Let me see if I'm understanding you accurately. And then I repeat the essence, not word for word, but the essence of what they said. And maybe when I repeated it, the words were correct, but I put an attitude toward it because I'm feeling kind of pissy. I'm a little upset. And so my partner would then say, well, the words are right, but I didn't think I had an attitude of frustration when I spoke it. So if I did, I apologize. Let me say it again. And so they would say it again with maybe monitoring, the voice tone. When whoever brought up the issue, it goes back and forth. This is what I heard you say. And okay, that was a few sentences. You don't talk 5 minutes nonstop. No one can repeat that. So you try and hold it down to maybe a paragraph, and then the other person repeats it. And then it's like I hand you back the talking stick. I actually have one right behind me, and it is a physical stick. The idea here is we have to slow down the communication so that we're actually hearing what the other person is saying. And then we repeat the essence back. Because most of us, we simply want to be understood. There are times when I don't even need for you to agree with me, as long as you understand where I'm coming from. Now, the challenge is when you've stepped into, well, let me finish the talking stick. After, let's say, I have shared 4 or 5 different expressions and I feel complete. I would say, I feel complete now. Then I would hand you the talking stick, or you would then speak to me and I would listen and I would repeat the essence back to you. I have used a talking twig, a talking pencil, pen. Sometimes it helps to have something in our hand so we know who's the one who has the floor. This kind of communication, sometimes it slows everything down. And I say, do not do this. A half hour is a good amount of time. I've had some clients do this for an hour, 2 hours, and I'm saying, no, you get burned out. You're not listening to each other, because when you actually do this, the problem can be solved simply by your listening to each other. Now, sometimes if the problem is not solved, you table it. You say, we've done a half hour. We're both getting tired or hungry. Let's table this. We can pick this up after a good night's rest. We can do this again tomorrow. And so you give each other an opportunity to integrate what you heard the other person said. My question to you, would you like to be right, or do you want to be happy? And I'll be honest, there are times I want to be right. Most of the time, I'd rather be happy. So this is a question to ask yourself. Is it that important for you to be right? Or can you actually say, you might be right. I might be wrong. Let's sit with this. Let's both do our personal work, because you can't do each other's work. You have to do your own personal work. The challenge is when when you've been together a long time, boy, you know each other's buttons. You know how to push each other's buttons. And you may love each other tremendously. And you may have children, and you don't want to divorce. You don't want to separate. But you don't know how to stop this button pushing of each other, or this knee-jerk reaction. So one of the things that I invite my clients to do, and I invite you to do, is first of all, take a breath. Just slow down. You'll feel the inner flame. You'll feel you're wanting to just let whatever comes up pop out of your mouth. Don't do it. And the other thing that's vitally important, and I'm not talking about a religious person, but I am talking about being a spiritual person. And that is to take a moment and to pray. You could do it with your eyes open. You could take a moment, close your eyes, and just say, Great Spirit, or God, or Jesus, or Yahweh, whoever you pray to, your higher self. Help me to understand what my partner is saying. Help me to hear. Help me to say what I need to say in a way that they will hear it. And if you can just slow down enough to take a breath and to say a little prayer like that, and then open yourself up. Open yourself up. Allow something to filter, into your pea brain that keeps repeating the same dynamic, which is absolutely destroying your relationship, even though you love each other. You can love each other and not like each other. And you keep doing this, it is going to bring you to the brink of divorce, which it doesn't have to, unless you have completed everything you need to learn from each other. And if you can respectfully care enough about each other that you don't tear each other apart, and you agree that a separation is the best thing to do, it's best for the children, it's best for each other, and you will make better friends than you do partners. Because there are times when it is appropriate to end a marriage in order to save a friendship and to save your ability to parent together. But first and foremost, are you willing to change your communication pattern, which can be very dysfunctional, creates contamination, it immediately puts a negativity in the space, and then it is so difficult to come out of that. So I invite you, no matter what is going on in your relationship, no matter how much you love each other, if you're fighting or arguing or disagreeing, even just twice a month, which really doesn't seem like much. I work with clients where it's every day, and they are so close to divorce. When it's like maybe twice a month, but it's still destructive, you can either go to counseling, choose a good counselor, choose me, I raise my hand, or stop the pattern of how you are thinking, how you let anything just fly out of your mouth. And if you do let it fly out, be willing to apologize as quickly as possible. Apologizing does not mean you're wrong. It means that you realize that you did an old pattern which is not serving, it's not helping, it's not promoting respect and honor and dignity with your partner. So I invite you to take your time. If you're having problems, please don't wait too long. It's much easier to save a marriage if you haven't just run it into the ground and you both barely have enough energy to put into doing therapy or doing counseling. So with that, I would like to say, please look at my bio, and you can find me on all of my other platforms. And I really want to thank you for watching this video. I hope something I shared with you today will be of benefit, and you will create the life that you desire and you're capable of creating. Blessings.